Hi friends, today we're talking about how to grow and harvest foxgloves. Foxgloves are the quintessential cottage garden flower with tall, elegant spikes covered in bell-shaped blossoms. Their flowers are beloved by hummingbirds and bumblebees, while at the same time being deer and rabbit resistant. Common foxglove, Digitalis purpurea, is generally considered a biennial or a short-lived perennial in most areas. However, there are some first-year flowering foxgloves that we can grow from seed, and I'll talk about that in today's video as well. Digitalis comes from the Latin word for finger, referring to the shape of the flower. Purpurea refers to the color of the flowers, which often is purple. Let's start by talking about biennial foxglove. Biennials put on foliage growth the first year and they flower the next year. So with a biennial foxglove, you're going to see a rosette of foliage appear the first year. And in the second year, you'll get these amazing 3 to 5 foot flowering spikes. They come in shades of purple, pink, white, peach, and I've even recently seen some yellow foxgloves at a local botanical garden. Each flowering spike is covered in 20 to 80 of these downward facing tubular blooms, and at the base of each tube you have a lip, and you'll often see bumblebees land on the lip and take the nectar from inside each of these flowering tubes. This whole area is normally covered in bees, and every once in a while I even have a hummingbird visit my foxglove. So if you love supporting native bees, bumblebees, and you enjoy having hummingbirds in your garden, definitely think about growing some foxglove, and I would recommend growing them from seed. Now, most of the time foxgloves just reseed themselves in the garden. They flower for us in the summer, perish sometime in the middle of summer into late summer, and drop their seed at the beginning of fall and basically replant themselves. So you'll often see a foxglove near where you planted, but sometimes too the seed will blow and drift. For example, this year I have a foxglove in the gravel of our new bistro garden, and I'll overlay some footage of that for you. If you've never grown foxglove from seed before, it's incredibly easy and also very affordable. If I were to buy foxglove plants at our local nursery, I'm looking at $7 to $15 per plant. Now on the flip side, I can purchase a packet of foxglove seed for about $3, and from that packet of seed, sometimes I can get upwards of 250 foxglove plants. If you love foxglove, if you're cutting foxglove and selling them, seeding them yourself inside is definitely the way to go. They do not like to be covered, so just press the seed lightly onto the top of the soil surface and let them germinate there under your lighting system. Now you might need to adapt this planting time based on your location. Our first expected frost is generally at the very end of October. So here's my seeding schedule. I seed inside in mid to late July, plant out 10 to 12 weeks later, mid to late September. From September to October, they essentially have a month to root into the ground, and they still are looking at about a month to a month and a half of temperatures that aren't so cold. They're still able to get some roots going during November before the cold season really starts here in December and January. Those plants will just sit there as a rosette of foliage until about April hits, and that's when I start to see all of this lush, tall growth coming from the base of that rosette of foliage, and before you know it, it's mid-May and the garden is full of foxglove, and they continue to bloom all the way until the end of July here. Now when I'm ready to plant my baby foxgloves into the garden, I like to space them approximately 12 to 18 inches apart, and I like to plant them in a full to part sun location. They do seem to flower best and stay upright better when they're planted in full sun, but the great thing about foxglove is that they can grow and flower in a part shade condition as well. You can see that the stalks do get quite tall. Sometimes you might need to stake them. They're considered spike or line flowers because they're a straight upward spiky flower. And in order to get the longest vase life from my foxglove, I want to cut them when just a few, 1 or 2 tubes on the base are open. All of these tubes up here will open in the vase for me, and I will get a vase life of approximately 10 to 14 days from this foxglove when I cut it in that manner. Now, if you're just cutting foxgloves for your home and your own personal enjoyment, cut them whenever you like. What will happen is these tubes will fall off inside. And the reason why you want to cut it early is because once a bumblebee or even a fly pollinates a flower, that signals that particular flowering tube to literally drop off and start to make seed. So if you can get to a foxglove before the bees do, you will get a slightly longer vase life from that particular flowering stem. Now, there are so many unique and wonderful varieties to choose from. I'd love to share a few of my personal favorites with you now. One of my favorites is called Alba. It's a white foxglove and it has a 4-foot sturdy stem. I also love Apricot Beauty. This has apricot pink flowers with spotted interiors on 3 to 4 feet tall stems. Camelot series is a variety that flowers in year 1. Flowers face outward instead of down in shades of lavender, rose, and white on 3-foot stalks. And finally, my all-time personal favorite is Foxy Foxglove. This variety blooms readily from seed the first year, and the blooms are white, cream, purple, and rose, and the spikes are up to 3 feet tall. When I first started growing and selling cut flowers, Foxy Foxglove was the only first-year flowering foxglove that I knew about. I didn't even know about the Camelot series back then. But if you're on a seed supplier website and confused about whether it's a first-year flowering or second-year biennial foxglove, check the days to maturity. A first-year flowering foxglove is going to have a days to maturity at about 120 to 145 days. A biennial foxglove is going to be listed as 365 days to maturity. Lastly, let's talk about collecting the seed or letting the seed just fall to the ground as it may. Now, generally in August, all of these flowers will be gone and they'll be replaced with seed heads. At that point in the growing season, here in Pennsylvania that is, those seed heads are going to be green. Usually around late September, they turn brown, and at that point I can just go ahead, pinch that seed head, and collect seed for next year. Foxglove can produce 1 to 2 million seeds per plant. So that's another great reason to grow foxglove, to grow it from seed, and to also share these seeds with a friend, because sharing is caring when it comes to flowers. And if you can give the seeds of a cut flower like a foxglove, I think you're really just giving instant joy to another gardener in your life. Well, friends, I sure hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye!